Good evening. This is an Elliott Wave interim alert update for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 being recorded on Sunday evening, October the 12th at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Market has reopened in Globex, and not a great surprise that we are substantially higher, not equal to what we went down on Friday, but say for example in the S&P we were down 220, we're almost up, we're up 70, so you'd say about a third of the way back up from that drop, and same thing over in the NASDAQ. And so yeah, NASDAQ was down 1,100 and we're up 385 right now. So again, about a third, even less, even more. Um, in any case, I want to go over this because the way the markets are reacting right now, and we have algorithms in force, and we got stuff kind of happening quickly, and so things change, and so do we need to possibly. So a couple of conversations in the comment sections over the weekend's podcasts that I made. Particularly, could it be all of wave four, or could it be a 1-2 going, the wave two going down, and then we're going to just accelerate to the upside? I will never say never. One thing over my years of doing analysis, I've learned don't say never, because usually that's exactly what will happen. But I will do it on a probability basis. So let me present this on a probability basis. So what I'm talking about right now is I've now labeled it. There's wave three. We're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You gotta look close because it happens so quick and it's spread. 3, 4, and a 5. And I'm putting minuet wave A down there. So that means that we're going to get a minuet A, B, and a C to complete minute wave 4. And so I still see this. I still see a little bit below that level. I still see our, I got to go out to my dailies and my right, the right tails and the tails. They're on the SPX. Let me just go over real quickly. I still have my SPX and the tails. And like the left tail is 64.27 and that at 5%, and the left tail at 10% is 60.88. So they're going to be a little bit different, a little bit higher because it's the ES, but still, those are still in place. And actually, that 5% I would be expecting it on a downside move in a C wave. Okay, so we got that going. So what I want to say is the alternate count as that minuet ABC down to Friday's low. So the whole ABC took place down to Friday's low, and it took a day and a day and a half to complete. Now, what do I think about that? I think it's like normally I would be looking for a lot more time to do this type of a move down. When we have to consider how long did it take that minute wave 3 to get to where it's at. And I can show you very quickly out here. There's wave 2, and that's April 21st, and this is, again, October the 9th. So when we're looking at that, we're looking like that is, again, 6 months. And here we are looking at same degree, a minute fourth wave could possibly have taken a day and a half. Now, again, what I want to make reference to is that same, I'm sorry to flipping the charts around, that same period of time where we had these gigantic moves over a short period. This one, February 19th, this is April. So granted, month and a half, a little bit longer, but it was a much bigger. This is minuet and a minute. This is minor. But still faster than I would have anticipated. But then we blasted up out of that thing. And that was all on comments from the president. This was on a comment from the president. Did the market overreact? Well, when we put it all together, like I explained, what we went through on Friday, we broke gamma levels coming down quickly. And when we broke them that quick, The selling. It's selling. It's selling. That's what takes place. That's what has to happen. Selling. So I think that could we go up and just keep on going? A lot's going to depend. And it just because it's quantitative, which means it's all algorithmic. And yeah, they could. So what's to say that they can't just take it all back in a day and a half, right? Today, right? It's like a half day, and then we go tomorrow morning and we go to that session, or basically 24 hours. I don't know. And so however you want to put it, but it would be quite amazing to me to see it go all the way back up, and this is all the way forward, and we're working on a first wave up. That would be amazing to me. Um, or in terms of, and I just want to say that I think it's Tegan. I think you're the one that brought this to my attention. And I don't necessarily think the probability would be lower. But he was mentioning that this, and I was a little bit confused on actually counting it, but that all the way up to here um, was somehow that this was wave one of I think five, I think is what he's going to think it is. Minute wave five. So this is minute wave three, minute wave four, and we're in minute wave five. And then this is wave two. Now, if that's the case, I'd have to go back out and really look at it because it came down too far. Now, for taking it out from here, three, four, maybe, maybe. And that would still be the previous fourth, sort of. But I kind of have problems with it, but I can't say never. So whichever way you want to look at it, yeah, it stays alive for right now. Now back down to that 15-minute chart. So here we have it. So where do I think that our probabilities, if we get above 6710, I think our probability scale starts to rise that it is ABC complete. Okay, so that's the basis. Then we're going to be working five waves up. Now, what fifth wave is this? It's the minute fifth wave that goes up, back out to that daily. Minute wave five completes minute five, minuet five, excuse me, completes, this is three and four. Minuet five's already done. Sorry about that. It's minute wave five, excuse me, completes minute wave four down, and then we're doing minute wave five up. Once minute wave five is complete, it completes minute five, minor five, intermediate five, primary five, cycle three. So we could be racing again to the high. Now, cyclically, we're looking for a little bit bigger correction, and for this correction to kind of maybe take us through the month of October. Now, it's rolling out fast. So I've not had a chance to rerun my algorithms, and I may do that overnight. I might get them done, and we'll take a look to see. But I wanted to put this out so that we're aware. We're aware what the possibilities could be. Here's our fibs for the B wave. It's already reached 50%, kind of hanging out there. And we have 62% up at 6707. 88% up at 6780. Can it do that? Can a B wave do that? Yes, a B wave can do that. Um, Now, if it's a first wave, it can go even further. But a B wave can get us up there. But I think the fact that once we start getting above 6710 and we're still climbing at a pretty pretty good pace, that there is a possibility. Otherwise, it's a B wave, folks. And B waves can do this, particularly after the strength of how this market went down. Another clue, by the way, came if we just paid attention to when all the stocks closed. So the future regular close is 4 p.m. Eastern. Then we have the extra hour, and that's that close. So the secondary close really brought it down. But what I noticed from the stocks is that, for example, NVIDIA was closed at 180, but this was the regular session close. Now look, we're $5 up off of that. So to me, it's like they're just jumping back in as if this was a mistake. but they're jumping back in maybe because the president is out saying something somewhere. Truth Social, most likely. So a lot of things kind of go in. Now, Bitcoin is not recovering. Bitcoin is continuing to go down. Dollar, okay. Gold reacting positively. Wow. These things, boy. Yeah, I did some analysis on those, so I don't know. Keep an eye on it. They're heading for new highs again. Um, and how much the equity markets want to follow that, I don't know. So, but in any case, I'm around, just going to keep my count intact that I think it's an A and we're doing a B. We'll come down in a C wave. Let's go take a look at the NASDAQ, which is actually doing the same thing. So NASDAQ is now above the 50% marker. 618's next up. It's 24,921. Here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave A. Now let me bring this back out to that hourly so you can see here. So the alternate count's the same. Minuet ABC down to Friday's low right there. Minute wave 4 then completed at Friday's low right there. This turns into a C and a 4. And the probability of this being the case increases on a move above 2,500. We're 200 points away from that. And NASDAQ, it can go nuts here, folks. It's up 400 now. It's just they go nuts. And believe me, none of these stocks, I mean, yes, the stocks are starting to trade, right? We're after 5 o'clock, was well, East Pacific. So they are starting to trade. And so we're getting, look at, it's kind of crazy, but they're flocking back in and smacking volatility. So having to jump out of all these risk on trades and then go over to risk off, and now they're reversing them again. It's amazing, but the options aren't trading. So you can only imagine what's going to happen once the options begin tomorrow and when we're coming in at these higher levels. It's going to be interesting. So that's why I'm putting this out right now. The probability will increase on a move above 2,500. And here we have 25,250 is way up here. Now, definitely, I think your probability is like, yes, if it stops there, it still could be a B wave. If it breaks above that high, which is 25,369, well, then that's our confirmation. I still think this is 5 waves down. If I have to mark it as ABC, then I could put the 4 there. Or, to be honest with you, another alternate would be, yep, you could put the 4 there, but if it's an ABC and it's still going to be an A, like this would be A, B, and then we get the C wave down at that degree, it's still an A. Now, because it's 3 down, you're running the possibility it's going to be a flat. And then that's because in the flat family is you know what? That's the irregular B wave. So I'm telling you, because it's corrective, we're back into that. Oh, okay, we got too many possibilities, but we're going to keep up with it. So, but I just wanted to make sure we had. I'm giving an alert to let's be careful here because yes, I am labeling it A, and so we get a B, and then we get a C wave down, and then all of that still stays in place with a move down to 23,572 or into this area, which is 23,031. Now, what could do that? Well, the same thing that took it down on Friday. Do we believe that the market is reacting because, oh, there's nothing, these tariffs aren't going to happen? China's taking it back on those rare earth minerals. No, I've not read anything about that. I've not heard anything about that, although I'm not scouring the news right now. So, in any case, I think we got to keep everything on the table. So, oh God, okay, here we go. And yeah, all right, so this is something. And Trump's on his way to, I guess, the Middle East. And he's declaring an end to the Israel Hamas. And he's going to take full credit for doing it. So anyway, there's that. So I wanted to get this out. Let me get this out. It should be short. And so everything else remains in place. So we got a lot going on. Let's see how it pans out. We now know what could be the case here. I won't pay attention to how high this gets. All right. Actually, now I will say the next update is tomorrow morning,